Hello everyone, welcome to Gordon's Grammar Cats. In this video series, my cats Hamish and Ruby help to generate example sentences for us to diagram using the phrase structure rules of generative linguistics. The particular phrase structure rules that we will use throughout this video series are from the third edition of the grammar book by Diane Larson Freeman and Marion Celsi Murcia. In this third video of the series, we will complete our overview of the 7 basic English sentence patterns. In the first video, we diagrammed the first 2 of these. And in the second video, we looked at patterns 3, 4, and 5. Now, these first 5 patterns are the 5 basic English sentence patterns, or Gobunke, that students of English study here in Japan. Note that for the sake of simplicity and consistency with the Gobunke, I have chosen to use the term complement, abbreviated as C. In Larson Freeman and Celsi Murcia, the complement in the second pattern, SVC, is referred to more specifically as a subject predicate. And in the fifth pattern, the SVOC, it is an object predicate. Now, in this video, we turn to the last 2 patterns, SVP and SVOP, the P standing for prepositional phrase. So let's begin with sentence pattern 6, subject, verb, prepositional phrase. As you can see here, Hamish and Ruby are doing what they like to do most, and so we'll use them here to create the sentence, "They went to their bed." Using the rules introduced in previous videos, we can map out most of this sentence. We just need to account for the prepositional phrase, "to their bed." As this is a required element that is necessary to complete the verb argument, we generate our prepositional phrase directly from the verb phrase. You can see the prepositional phrase consists of, naturally, a preposition, and its particular realization here, to. Next, we have the noun phrase that is comprised of a determiner, there, and the noun bed. So that's the SVP pattern. Turning to the last pattern now, the SVOP construction, we can see that this is very similar to the SVOO construction presented in the previous video. In fact, to keep things simple, let's use the same example about giving cake to cats. As we noted previously, the SVOO structure shown here is a distinct pattern because all elements are necessary to complete the verb argument. Now, looking at sentence pattern 7, SVOP, rather than "I gave them cake," we can say "I gave cake to them." Diagramming the sentence, the constituents are mostly the same. But before the noun phrase or the predicate, we have the direct object cake, followed by the prepositional phrase to them. Like the previous example, all of these elements are necessary to complete the sentence. In the Gobunke, this is not considered a distinct sentence pattern. It would be categorized as sentence pattern 3, SVO. The adjectival phrase "to them" would simply be an additional adverbial prepositional phrase. However, the grammar we're using here clearly distinguishes between elements required to complete verb arguments from those that are not. Let's look at an example of a required prepositional phrase and a non-essential one. Here we have the same sentence we just diagrammed with a required prepositional phrase, "I gave cake to them." Now let's add a non-essential prepositional phrase at the table to create a rather awkward sounding sentence, "I gave cake to them at the table." Now, to generate this non-essential prepositional phrase, we have to first produce an adverbial, abbreviated as ADVL, from the predicate. Now, this is because adverbials are extra elements that modify or qualify another part of speech in some way. You can see it is also generated not from the verb phrase, but more freely or loosely from a more general or abstract syntactical level. This contrasts with the required prepositional phrase to them, which is firmly rooted in the verb phrase. So here is our completed sentence with our obligatory and optional prepositional phrases. We'll look at adverbials in an upcoming video, but for now, it's enough to say that these additional adverbial elements are not considered essential components of the 7 basic sentence patterns outlined here. We've used the verb give to illustrate both the SVOO and the SVOP sentence patterns. So what other verbs are used in these sentence structures? Here is a list of ditransitive verbs, or verbs that take double objects. You'll notice that this is the same list of verbs shown in the previous video to illustrate SVOO. So all of these verbs can take either 2 objects or an object and a prepositional phrase. The verb send, for example, can be used in the SVOO pattern in I sent her a letter, or the SVOP pattern in I sent a letter to her. However, there's one more category of verbs that can be used in SVOP, but not the SVOO pattern. Now, if we look, for example, at the verb reveal, we can say the sentence, I revealed the secret to her, but we cannot say, I revealed her the secret. Isn't grammar fun? So that's it for the 7 sentence patterns. Thanks, Hamish and Ruby. Let's now turn to the practice exercises. Please pause the video here. All right, now let's check our answers. All right, that's all for today. Thank you for watching.